Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Baker McKenzie vlog series, Investing in ASEAN. My name is Jeff Su. I'm of the Baker McKenzie Fenxun Shanghai office. Today, I have the pleasure of having my colleagues, Kun Ampika and Kun Nuchaya. Ampika Kumar, she has many specialties, and that includes business reorganization, foreign direct investment, corporate restructuring, M&A, and trade competition, and of course, merger control. And we also have Kun Nuchaya. She focuses practice in inbound and outbound and cross-border investment transactions, and also M&A practices. Both Ampika and Nuchaya, they are of the Baker McKenzie Bangkok office.
Thank you. 你好，我叫 Ampika。
大家好，我叫 Nuchaya。
谢谢，大家好。So today we'll talk about doing business in Thailand, investment in Thailand, with a bit of focus of investing in Thailand from China's perspective. I myself, I have also a bit of experience in representing clients in investing in Thailand, and it's my observation that Thailand as well as ASEAN has increasingly become a focus of Chinese investors. So my first question for Ampika and Nuchaya is, what do you think about generally foreign investment in Thailand? What are the key factors that makes Thailand an attractive destination for foreign investors?
Amongst a number of Thailand's key attractive factors, which Nuchaya could supplement me in a moment, one of the key factors is that we have trade benefit, market access to be exact. Thailand has always been leading exporter of manufactured goods in several industries such as plastics, textiles, electrical appliances. We cannot forget agricultural products and of course the automotive parts. Also, we are currently party to many multilateral or bilateral treaties and the newly signed regional comprehensive economic partnership, the RCEP, which provide businesses based in Thailand with almost tariff-free trade with 18 different countries, including major global economies. So, well, apart from market access, I think locating where we are now, Thailand is one of the strategic location because we are well connected to the ASEAN member nations, including the fast-growing CLMV, and with good transportation network, including rail, road, water, airways. It means that Thailand has access to around 660 million consumers, all within 3,000 kilometers, making Thailand an attractive investment destination, I'd say. Nuchaya, what do you think?
Yes, I totally agree with you, Kun Ampika. In addition to the trade benefits and market access and the location advantage Kun Ampika has just mentioned, other key factors that may be attractive to foreign investors may be the development of digital and logistic infrastructure. Our Thai government has developed the plan to transform Thailand into a digital economy. This entails major advances in technology, especially in the support of smartphones and broadband connectivity, as well as high-speed internet across the country. Our Thai government also developed the Digital Park Thailand, which is located in Chonburi province, which facilitates access to the submarine cable system, landing station, and data center. Another tempting benefit for foreign investors are the investment promotions and incentives provided by the Board of Investment of Thailand, or the BOI in short. The BOI offers both tax and non-tax incentives for many categories of businesses to support foreign investment. The noteworthy tax incentives are the exemption of the corporate income tax for a certain period and the exemption of the import duties on the import of machinery. For the non-tax incentive, the most attractive one for foreign investors is the exemption to foreign investment restrictions under our foreign business law. The exemption allows foreign investors to majority own or wholly own the promoted businesses in Thailand. On top of the BOI incentives, we also have a mega project developed and promoted by our government, the Eastern Economic Corridor, or the EEC. The EEC also provides extra investment incentives for the investment in 12 promoted industries. For example, logistics and digital and technology and innovation, which must be invested in the EEC area, which is located in the eastern part of Thailand. Actually, Thailand may also offer some soft benefits that may attract those who like, all year summer, warm and sunny climate, and easy access to our beautiful beach. And maybe for those who are fond of our famous spicy Thai food and, easygoing lifestyle and our land of smiles.
So we have trade benefit, we have strategic locations, we have excellent digital and logistic infrastructure. We also have the government incentive. And on top of all of this is the excellent Thai food. Doing business in shorts and flip-flops with Tom Yam Gong. That sounds very, very attractive. That explains Thailand as a popular destination for foreign investment. And can you also briefly introduce us what is the status of Chinese investment in Thailand so far?
Right. At least from what I see in recent years, Thailand has become a destination of Chinese investment. Looking at the number of BOI, the Board of Investment applications from Chinese investors alone, which have increased over the past few years, especially in 2019 when China became Thailand's top source of BOI application, with a spectacular increase from 28 billion Thai baht in 2017 to 262 billion Thai baht in 2019. So among Chinese investors in investing in Thailand, there are some big names you would recognize immediately, like Sinopec, Haier, SAIC, China Petrochemical Corporation. But what I noticed is Chinese investment in Thailand currently mainly focus on traditional business revolving around manufacturing like metal products, machinery, electronic products, and chemicals, probably public utilities and hospitality sectors. I understand that the key investment consideration for Chinese companies, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, coming to Thailand were an overall favorable business environment for foreign investor, the access to raw materials like, for example, rubber for tire manufacturers and other, tariff and trade benefits. That's my observation on the Chinese investment in Thailand so far.
Thank you, Ampika. That's a good summary of Chinese investments in Thailand for the last 3 years or 4. What do you think from a going forward perspective? What do you think would happen for the coming years in terms of Chinese investments?
Yeah, I believe the investment in traditional industries would still have potential to grow, as the current trend is that now Chinese companies are targeting Thailand not as only production based, but as a market in itself. For example, in automotive industry, you would see SAIC Motor establish a joint venture in Thailand and target the Thai for targeting the Thai customers with its MG brand. And other Chinese motor company as well recently launched many of vehicle offerings in Thailand. So I think Thailand is a market in itself, and so we see the trend still ongoing for the upcoming years.
Are you expecting any changes for Chinese investment into Thailand? Are there any other sectors that you would expect Chinese investors to focus in Thailand?
Apart from the traditional businesses, with the fast-paced demand for digital transformation and the change in customers' behaviors across the globe, we have seen drastic increase in investments in emerging industries like innovation and invention or application of advanced technologies, and the new market development in e-commerce and logistics. We have also seen the rise of investments in these sectors in Thailand. Similar to other countries across the globe, due to the effect of the digital transformation and the ongoing effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Thai markets have been accepting and adapting to the change of people's lifestyle and behaviors, where digital economy becomes a vital part of our life, and most of the time not just an option. So these changes create demand for online businesses and e-commerce, as well as new digital technologies and delivery service platforms in Thailand. So I believe that Thailand can be the target and the market for investors in these sectors, including for Chinese investors. We have seen many top tech giants establish their operations in Thailand, like Huawei and ZTE and many more. We believe there will be more tech and e-commerce companies entering into Thailand in the upcoming years. Furthermore, the Board of Investment, or the BOI, is offering many incentives for businesses revolving around online digital technology, such as e-commerce, digital services, platform providers, and etc. And also for those businesses which involve new and advanced technologies, such as automation, AI, robotic, and EV automotive and its parts. These incentives include tax benefit, like an exemption to the corporate income tax and import duties, and other non-tax benefits like an exemption to the foreign business investment restriction. And also in the logistics sector, we have seen, a Chinese logistic player, Best, has also invested in Thailand. This may be because Thailand has geographical advantages for logistics sector, and there are significant amount of demand for delivery and logistics service in Thailand. The pandemic also, is one of the factors that drive the need for delivery and logistics services at the moment.
Thank you. So it strikes me that investment in Thailand by Chinese investors is becoming more and more sophisticated, from the very basic distribution, manufacturing, and then becomes getting into the area of logistics, e-commerce, and a lot more entangled with the local business. So that's a very good development. So my next question to you guys is, how was Thailand affected by the recent pandemic, COVID-19 to be specific?
Hotel and tourism sectors, which are the main economy in Thailand, have been severely hit by travel restrictions and lockdowns. The consumer goods and retail industry has been put to test as well, I would say. Once very crowded shopping malls, markets, restaurants, and cafes are now very quiet, and residents tend to stay home due to curfews and concern about the pandemic. However, seeing certain players who quickly adapt and has survived, some even continue to grow. Major players in the sector have moved quite fast to online sales and seems to do quite fine during the pandemic. So, and this also applies to online food delivery services. Several restaurant chains revive its business model and also benefit from the use of like a central or cloud kitchen to reduce costs. I think on the other hand, technology sectors seem to not have been affected much from the pandemic, as well as logistic sector, as Nuchaya mentioned, which did quite well. I think in some businesses that have capacity to adapt, diversify, and transform have survived the pandemic quite well. I think apart from COVID-19 situation, it's the era of change. Various Thai business sectors have been affected by several other issues, like firstly, by ongoing advance of digital technology, which they have to adapt. Then by the increase of consumer awareness of transparency, sustainability, environmental, social, and governance, like ESG, I'd say, yeah, it's a truly an era of change.
Thank you. I think the resilience of the Thai economy was also one of the reasons why it's an attractive destination for investments. What are the legal concerns? What are the main legal concerns for foreign investors in general for investment in Thailand?
The foreign investors, actually have frequently raised and shared the same and common legal concerns about investing in Thailand. One of the most important concerns is on foreign shareholding restriction, of course. Generally, foreigners are restricted from engaging in certain businesses in Thailand. For example, of the restricted businesses could include hotels, tourism, retails, and wholesales, and service business. To engage in these restricted businesses, foreigners will be required to obtain a foreign business license. So therefore, before investing in Thailand, foreign investors should get a proper advice in order to clearly and fully understand the foreign business restriction regime under Thai law. Example of the questions and the issues that foreign investors should fully understand could be, whether the businesses and activities to be conducted in Thailand are restricted businesses under our foreign business law or not. And what is the foreign shareholding limit, and to what limit the foreign investors can hold the shares. And the possibility to apply and obtain a foreign business license, and the exemptions to the foreign business restrictions that may be available for your investment, and the benefits and privileges that your investment is eligible for. About the investment incentives, as previously mentioned, that there are investment promotions and incentives offered by the Board of Investments, the BOI, and the EEC, which provides exemption to the foreign business restriction, together with other incentives, both tax and non-tax. Yeah, Kun Ampika may add some more concerns.
Yes, I think I wanted to firstly supplement Nuchaya on the foreign restrictions. Another alternative for foreign investors to invest in Thailand is actually through a joint venture with Thai partners, which actually may be a good start if you've got the right partner to pave the way with the market insights. However, in such case, the foreign investor needs a proper advice on structuring the minority protection to protect its interest in its investment. Apart from like the bigger issue like foreign restrictions, I think compliance with Thai laws should also be taken into consideration. Foreign investors wishing to operate the business in Thailand should also be aware of other regulatory compliance requirements, which might include, for example, the personal data protection, which is a talk of the town. It will become effective mid next year in Thailand. Competition law has become more and more important in that the regulator is enforcing the law very diligently. Foreign exchange control, you cannot avoid that because it's about repatriating of fund. Zoning law, employment, work permit requirements, all sorts of restrictions on import and export, customs, commodity inspection and quarantine, various things that you should be thinking about when you invest in Thailand because of the regulatory requirement, which is keeping up with the standard of other countries as well.
Right. And that shouldn't be an unfamiliar list for investors from China. China also have complex employment law requirements, foreign exchange control, and very vigorous enforcement of antitrust law, and above all, restriction on foreign investments. For investment in Thailand, can you name 3 top challenges for doing business in Thailand?
If we need to pick 3, there would be, about what to know, who to know, and knowing what you need to do. First, the difficulty of knowing what is the language barrier. Thai language is official language used in Thailand, and Thai people use Thai language to communicate, both official and unofficial communication. And all of the documents, the official documents like the laws and regulations, the guidelines, the applications and registration documents, government documents and correspondences are all in Thai, and there are no official translations to other languages. So foreign investors could find this a hurdle and a discomfort to plan their investments themselves. Secondly, the difficulty of knowing who is about the cultural difference. In fact, the cultural difference could be the factor that we usually concern and need to understand when entering a foreign country, right? For Thailand, seniority and respect are quite important. Relationships and connections also play important parts in doing business in Thailand. So you need to know the right contacts and how to appropriately approach them. This could also be difficult for foreign investors who enter into Thailand for the first time. The third one, the last one, would be about knowing what you should do is to understand the laws and regulations and legal process and requirements. Our laws and regulations may not be centralized, and as they are all in Thai, it's difficult for foreign investors to fully understand the legal process and requirements they need to comply with in investing in Thailand. I think Kun Ampika may jump in on the key takeaways on that may help tackle these concerns and difficulties.
Yes, thank you, Kun Nuchaya. I think you've covered the challenges. The key takeaway is to be well prepared, well planned. You need right person to help you navigate through those challenges that Nuchaya mentioned, because wherever you invest, there will be some legal challenge. So having said that, we at Baker McKenzie Bangkok office are here 4 decades ago and grown to be the largest law firm in Thailand. We've helped a number of companies effectively navigating through the challenge, especially challenging time like this time. We facilitated successful entry of Fortune 500 brands into the country and helped local business to invest internationally. So we have practical support and innovative solution. And also we cover a large, wide area of industry knowledge. We have support in the corporate M&A, dispute resolution, employment, competition, banking and finance, insurance, intellectual property, tax, of course, and transfer pricing, and also various industry knowledge. So yes, so I think the key takeaway is to plan well and to find the right partner to help you navigate through the investment in Thailand.
Thank you very much, Kun Ampika and Kun Nuchaya, for the sharing of insights. And once again, we want to thank everyone for joining us in this vlog series. I'm sure we will have a lot more insight to share with you. The Baker McKenzie team has been around for many years. We have assisted investors from around the world, from Japan, from Europe, from North America, from the Middle East, and from ASEAN countries as well. And there are many precedents that Chinese investors could learn from and benefit from. And before we have our next episode, thank you everyone for joining us today. And feel free to reach out to us if you have a question or just feel like to discuss about anything about investment in Thailand. Thank you. Bye bye. 再见。
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 再见。